let's go through a certain type of question which comes up quite often, pretty often actually. And once you kind of get simplifying quadratics, so you want to watch the last 2 videos where we factorized when a equals 1, a doesn't equal 1, and difference of 2 squares. These are like the easiest marks in the world. These are big mark questions. I've seen, these are usually worth between 4 to 6 marks, usually 5. And this is what they look like. And they look ugly. And they'll, the question will say something like, simplify fully. 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 over, usually it's something a bit nicer than that, but let's start off with this one. Yeah, over x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now this looks difficult, because how do you simplify that? Now remember, alright, there's one video, if you don't feel quite, you've got to be comfortable knowing how to cancel things over fractions. So I think there's I think it's called cancelling anything, which I did a video, which goes over how you cancel anything on the top and bottom of a fraction. And to put it very quickly, you need to turn the top and bottom into a chain of stuff multiplying. Yeah, so on. The bottom is a chain of things multiplying, and then if you've got the same thing, so if that's the same as that, then you can literally cancel them. So, right, so the maths never changes. So how do we get the top and bottom as a chain of things multiplying? It's easy. We factorize them. Think about this. So let's just focus on this. So we're going to 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. We've got to factorize this. So, remember, set up your thing. If this isn't making sense to you, you need to go watch the factorizing videos. You do that. You're going to do your thing. And you're going to get 2 equations. What am I talking about? 6. How did 6 come about? Sorry. So your a times b should equal minus 3. And your a plus 2b should equal plus 5. So simple. Let's do, you know how to do it. A and b. Let's think of all the possibilities. So we could have 1. We could have minus 3, which gives us minus 3 and 1, because this is one of those ones with 2x and x, so our order matters. We can do minus 1. We can do 3 minus 1. We've done it. But remember, the equation is for a plus 2b, so we're going to create another table where we've got 2b here. Don't change the first ones. 6, 2, 6. Yeah, there's your one. This is your combination, which gives you 5, which is actually that combination. So your a equals minus 1 and your b equals 3. So this, it literally factorizes to 2x minus 1 and x plus 3. So do you see already? So like we're trying, and look, this, by factorizing this whole thing, we have actually turned the top into a chain of things multiplying. By factorizing is actually a very good way of helping you turn the top and bottom of a fraction into a chain of things multiplying. So you see that one, perfect. Now watch this. All right, so let's factorize that. So it's going to be x plus a, x plus b. Our a times b is going to equal minus 3 as well, and our a plus b is going to give us 2. So we'll set it up. Now the order doesn't matter on this, so this was a little bit easier. We've got that, and we've also got, I think that's all your possibilities. We need the ones that add up to 2, so it's that. A equals minus 1, b equals 3. And again here, if you're not feeling very comfortable with what I'm doing, how I'm factorizing this so quickly, this doesn't make sense to you, you need to get better with your factorizing of quadratics. Go watch the videos again. So right, so look at this now. So look, now we've turned the bottom into a chain of things multiplying. And obviously you don't need these multiplies, but I'm just trying to make it clear to you. So now what you do, and this is what always happens with these questions. When you say simple, when quadratic, factorize them, every single time one of the brackets will be this, two of the brackets on the top and bottom are exactly the same. Cross, so you can cancel these out. So your final answer is just this. There you go. That's what it's looking for. That's what it's going to give you the 4 or 5 marks for. That would get you 5 marks. So let's do another one. So let's do x squared minus 9 over x squared plus 3x. Now, so this is difference of 2 squares. You can see that's just x being squared minus 3 being squared. So that one just turns into x plus 3, x minus 3. By the way, did you not understand? If you didn't understand that, go watch the thing. Now this one will confuse a few of you. How do you factorize this? It's really simple. This is, I mean, it is a quadratic technically, but this one you just pull out a common factor. So you do the other easier type of factorizing. Can you guys see it's that? All right, so you do that. Remember, top and bottom are now a chain of things multiplying. Cross that out. So your answer, with that simplified fully, is that. And you can't do any more, so just leave it like that. So that's, I think that'll be 4 marks. This one, so you got this one, you got x squared minus 16. Hopefully you're screaming, that's a, you know, what you're thinking there. You're thinking, oh, that, I know what that is, I know what that is. That's the difference of 2 squares. Well done, guys, you're correct. Okay, so this one, you know, should be very simple. X minus 4. That thing. This one takes a little thing. So remember, it's going to factorize to this. Now here's the kind of deal. You know that one of these, realistically, you know what's going to happen in this question. You know it's going to cancel. So I'll show you a way which you can kind of use that to speed this question up. So it's that your 2 equations are, what are your equations? You've got a times b equaling minus 8, and you've got a plus 3b giving you what? What is that giving you, guys? It's giving you plus 10, right? So we do a times b table. Now look, we're looking for stuff that gives us minus 8, yeah? Now, we could write like 1, 8, and obviously the order matters. Sorry, 8, 1, minus 8, minus 8, 1. But here's the deal, yeah? You expect one of these to be a 4, so don't worry, don't bother with these. It's not going to be it. So that's how you kind of be a little bit smart about these questions. So I would just skip straight to like, 2 minus 4, which obviously gives you minus 4 and 2 as well. And then think about minus 2 and 4, and 4 minus 2. So do you see, you're being quite smart about it. Here's the deal, you don't need to write every option. The reason we write all the possible options is so we always get to the right answer. But here we go, so we need, you were bothered about a and 3b. So yeah, by the way, what I was saying there, so we were interested in having one of our answers equals 4. So we didn't really care about the 1s and 8s. So that's going to give us minus 12, that's not it. It's going to give us 6, that's going to give us plus 12. I'm going to stop there. Already that one gives us plus 10. So it's this one. You know, your a equals 2, your b equals 4. So yeah, and so here it goes. 3x plus, minus 2, sorry, a equals minus 2. So 3x minus 2 and x plus 4. Excellent. Do you see? That cancels. And that's it. You simplified it as much as you can. See? This is easy as hell. This is just factorization in action. And then remember, but notice as well, this is a question which kind of also tests your ability to kind of cancel stuff. Understand how you cancel things on the top and bottom of a fraction. And this is like one good reason, me kind of like why I'm always kind of trying to ram it down your throat. You want to understand why you do this stuff. Firstly, hopefully you're seeing it doesn't take that much longer. It gives meaning to this, and trust me, like, you know, these harder questions, there's some of the questions which everyone slips down on. It's literally because they don't understand them. And as you keep going through this, as you keep understanding the stuff, the more marks you grab. So here again, so I'll show you another good kind of way of doing this. 2x squared minus 9. Now, the bottom one is the difference of two squares. Do that one first. Right? So now here's the good thing. You expect one of these to be, you know, you expect, you know, one of these to be like 2x plus 3 or 2x minus 3. I'll show you how you can use that to your advantage. So you can either factorize that the long way and get the answer, or, you know, maybe I'll show you maybe a smarter way of going by it. So you know it's going to be 2x plus a and x plus b. But here's the deal. You're really looking for the one where a is 3 or minus 3. So your two equations are going to be a times b gives you minus 3. It's for this one, remember. And your a plus 2b is minus 1. Remember, don't confuse that. That's a minus 1. So alright, let's do the a times b. Well, actually, there's not much skipping to do on this because you're only going for minus 3. So okay, yeah, not much of a thing. But here's the deal. If it was like 24 or something, I would just bother with the ones, look at the ones where this. Here's what I do. I'm only interested when a equals 3 or minus 3. That's the ones I'm going to look at. So I'm not saying that has to be minus 1. Let's do plus 1. I'm not going to look at the other combinations. Yeah, do a and 2b, 3 minus 3. Does that make sense? Because I know I'm expecting it to cancel, so I only care when a equals 3 or minus 3. I expect one of those to work. That's 2. This is your one. That gives you minus 1. So that's the one you want. So 2x minus 3, x plus 1. Cancel, cancel. There you go. Great answer. Good. I think I got one more. Oh yeah, this is a good one. So this one tests a little bit more. I think this is the 5 or 6 mark. I can't remember which one. So alright, looks standard so far. Hopefully you're seeing that straight away is what it is. It's a difference of two squares. So look at this. Isn't this one getting interesting? Alright, very, very interesting. Now, a lot of people got scared by this question. Yeah, because some were used to doing this, but like, what, now I have to divide that by this? Here's what it is. Don't forget, this is a fraction times divided by a fraction. So just the same way how like a lot of the people who couldn't do this question, if I literally gave them a question like this, they would have no problem going straight to 3 over 4, flipping the second fraction, multiplying. That's also what you do here. Yeah, exactly what you do here. So, you know, you can either start working these out as things or start doing that. So, you know, I'll just kind of show you firstly that, look, this is what it comes to. Now, listen. Don't try to multiply this with this yet. This is going to be a case of this is going to give you 2 brackets, and that's a bracket by itself. Because remember, you're multiplying all of this by all of that. The reason you're doing all of that, so you want to put a bracket around this when you join this up eventually. But anyway, let's find out what these 2 factorize to. This one's straightforward. That one becomes a 3x plus 1, 3x minus 1, over, let's do this one, 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. That one's going to be 3x plus a, x plus b. Right, our equations come to a times b equals 1, which is like the nicest a times b you're going to get. And then a plus 3b equals 2. Yeah, what's that going to equal? Is that correct? Have I wrote that correctly? Oh, no, that's got to be minus 1. Sorry, this has got to be a minus 1. Yeah, that makes sense. So that should equal -1. So let's think of all the A's and B's. Can't get much nicer than this, can you? That's it. To be honest, that's it. There you go. That's the one that gives you 2. That's your answer. So this one becomes 3x minus 1, x plus 1. Right. Now, you know, a lot of you are going to be very comfortable exactly what to do from this point anyway. But, you know, that's supposed to work. Very, very simple, right? So look, I mean, I guess you could start cancelling this with this, and if you're comfortably doing this, you cancel that with that, and you just be left with that. But, you know, if you really want to see this, let's just multiply that with that. So now you've got 3 brackets on the top, all multiplying together in a chain. Yeah, remember, chain of things multiplying. Here's the deal. That you can cancel with that. That cancel with that. That's what the answer is. There you go. Not that difficult, right? But there are a few things being tested. They're testing difference of 2 squares here. They're testing factorizing what they consider a difficult quadratic when the number in front of the x squared isn't a 1. They're also testing dividing fractions. And it's actually more than testing dividing fractions. They're testing, can you divide a fraction which, you know, has algebra in it, which is scary. And then finally they're also testing, do you know how to cancel? Cancel stuff in a fraction. So a lot of stuff being tested there. But again, you know, hopefully you guys are okay with that, right? Excellent. Right, so end of this video. And that's really factorization summed up. It's something which kind of trips up lots and lots of students. And you want to get very good with this as well, because the reason factorizing gets so much marks as well is, firstly, just doing it like that gets you low. Just being able to factorize it gets you marks. Then you have to be able to solve quadratics, which is just like one extra step, so that gets marks. And then this kind of like quadratic fraction, simplifying, that gets marks. And as you'll see, you know, there's different, I don't know if some of you guys have seen this, when you get simultaneous equations. So, you know, a lot of guys are happy doing these ones. You know, 3x on that side, who cares, yeah? Yeah? People can do that, but you know the other ones? The ones which are somewhat like this or something? These are all about quadratics. And once you know how to do quadratics well, these 6, 7, 8 mark questions, this kind of simultaneous equations, is so simple, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, hopefully this kind of little video bit has walked you through it, has made sense for you. Make sure you practice. Don't just watch these and think you've got it if you haven't put any pen to paper, because you won't have, I promise you. You'll be lazy, you'll just get like you'll get a grade which is well below what you should be getting. So don't kind of screw yourself up over that. Alright? Ranting over. And let's now go to completing the square. Again, scares a lot of people. Hopefully you'll see, very straightforward. Alright, see you in the next video.